Mean of a data set. All right, so each of 7 students reported the numbers of movies they saw in the past year. Here's what they reported. So then we have 7 numbers on the list there. And it tells us to find the mean of the number of movies that the students saw. If necessary, round your answer to the nearest tenth. So what does a mean mean? It says there are 7 numbers in this list. Their mean is their sum divided by 7. So sum means add them together. So it's showing you now the sum of the numbers. They're adding each one together, and they get 109. And then they divide that by the number of numbers there are. There are 7 numbers. I told us that a couple of times now. We can count them and see that there are 7, or it told us that there are 7 students. So we take the 109, divide by 7, and we get this 15.571 ... meaning that it continues in our calculator. They told us to round to the nearest tenth. Remember, that means to this 5 here. But I have to look at the number right past it because I have to decide, is this closer to 15.5 or 15.6? So this 7, it's bigger than 5. So that means that I'm closer to 15.6 than I am 15.5. So that is why we do 15.6 movies. So that's how we find mean. We're just going to add them together, divide by however many numbers there are, and then make sure we round correctly. So let's go ahead and start this on the next page here. Okay. So let's grab our calculator because we are allowed to use a calculator on this one, and this is a perfect example of why you might use a calculator. So we have 16 plus 6 plus 8, 10, 16. I've actually seen it where it'll do this. So I'm actually going to try this really quick. So you can go like this and just highlight. See, will it work? I can highlight them all, and then I can just go between them and do a plus sign. So I have to take the comma away, do a plus sign. So they're already typed in here because I highlighted them with the calculator open. So it's actually one of those weird little tools I've seen before. I don't know if it'll put a plus sign in between them at some point, but I know it'll put the comma between them because that's what's there already. Okay, so now I can hit enter, and it will add them for me. So I know I get 87. But remember, that's just the sum. To find the mean, we need to divide. And I didn't read the story. Sorry, it says a pet store has 8 cats. Here are their weights. Find the mean weight of the cats. So mean is another word for average. So it's saying kind of the middle. Average isn't truly the middle, but that's how most people think of it, is kind of the middle idea. So we have cats that weigh all the way down to 6 pounds. We have cats that weigh all the way up to 16 pounds. So when we average them, we can get about what do they normally weigh. So we take 87 and we divide that by 8 because we have 8 cats weights here. And we can also count. There are 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're not lying to us. We do, in fact, have 8 weights. We hit equals. Remember, they want us to round to an eighth. So 10.8, like this. But let me grab my pen here. We need to decide, is this closer to 10.8 or 10.9? So that's what we're deciding on the rounding. So now we're going to look at this number. It's in the calculator here. And we know we want to round to this number here. That's the 10th. But we need to look at the number right after it, because that number tells us if we're closer to 8 or 9. So if this number is 5 or bigger, then we are closer to 9. So we round it up. If that number is 4 or smaller, then we would have rounded down or back down to 10.8. So basically, we're just saying that we're closer to what we started with. In this case, we're closer to the next number. So we just have to round it up, and we get 10.9. Check. All right, next one. So let's clear that out. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back in our calculator. And again, I'm clicking here, and then I click like this. It'll highlight them all. I can just do plus signs. Oops, I got rid of my 1. So I'm just changing these all to plus. And you can just type them in if you want, or you can add them by hand. Totally up to you. Uh-oh, darn it. plus. Okay. I'm not going to do it that way. I keep messing it up. So 10 plus 14 plus 11 plus 12 plus 6 equals 62. Now remember, we have to divide by 6. And that gives us 10.33333. The second 3, that's 4 smaller, so we're just going to round down to 10.3. Check. Okay. One more here. So we have 11 plus 12 plus 11 plus 12 plus 10 plus 9 plus 10. So this is actually faster, just typing them in. So I get 75. Now remember, we have to divide by 7 because there are 7 numbers here in the list. And I get 10.7. The 1 is 4 smaller, so we just round it down to 10.7. Check. All right, we finished another one. Yay.